right. And I'm going to introduce you a little something. Let's see. Okay, we will not be able to see ourselves. So, heads up, pool, beautiful ones. We thank you so much for joining in, tuning in to our Healers series. And I really just wanted to take some time to introduce you all to some of my favorite students and healers. They are some powerful, beautiful ones. And today I do have a divine, beautiful priestess, healer, student, friend, sister here to join us. She is the owner and founder of the Merkaba House here in Atlanta. And she's very well known around town for sharing sound therapy with us at events and at her space. So it's definitely a pleasure for me to welcome Priestess Onika Hetepu, beloved. How are you?
Peace and blessings. Thank you so much for having me and interviewing me. I'm doing very well, very well. I've been taking care of the family. I got a healing retreat this weekend, actually. So things have really gotten busy, especially with the spring and the summer coming up.
Yes, yes, that is the time when things get to be a little bit more active. So just tell us a little bit about what you do over there at Merkaba House.
So I do what I would like to call like a shamanic healing session with my clients. That includes sound healing. I like to use gongs. That's my number one thing. As you can see, that's my number one thing that I like to go to. I also include tuning forks, drumming, rattles, singing bowls. You might not be able to see them, but they're down there. And I incorporate it with energy healing, and it's pretty powerful. Depending on what the client is dealing with, sometimes I'll even incorporate vaginal steaming with it as well. If we're dealing with like womb trauma. And so it's really a one of a kind type of experience. And I'm also been working. My husband, he trained under a Dogon priest for 2.5 years. So he like reads the energy of the name. So he actually can find out people's like karmatic debts and different challenges that they have. So when they do that, that gives me a lot of insight of what I need to go in and remove with the energy. So it's very, very powerful.
So you all are like a dynamic duo over there working
Yeah.
together. That's
Yes, we
beautiful.
are. And it's very important to me to have that divine masculine energy, because so many of our brothers are not like getting the healing that they need, or they just don't even know where to go, really. And so I was just telling him like what you're doing for our brothers is so important, because they see themselves in him, and different things that he had challenges with that he overcame. They feel that camaraderie. We're like, wow, he went down the same path and he overcame it. So it becomes very inspirational for our brothers. So we get a lot of like sisters that come see what we do and be like, oh my God, I'm bringing my husband or I'm bringing my king or my child's father. So I even like how we've evolved to that point.
Yes, that's beautiful, beautiful. And I know even women can benefit from having a good, positive man that is not disrespectful, a man with integrity that they can work with and trust, that they're not going to be violated or any of that kind of nonsense. So yeah, that's
So
important
important.
for that divine masculine and divine feminine to be working together. That's just outstanding. So give thanks for that. I know you all are lifting up them people, boy. I
Oh
can only
yeah.
imagine.
We had a situation with one client. where she's working with both of us and her son, and she kind of had a meltdown, and she called and was like, "Can your husband please talk to him?" When I tell you, in 5 minutes he had that boy calmed all the way down. I was just like, this is incredible. And that's another thing. He doesn't have any type of relationship with his father, the little boy. So just even having a male presence that was able to calm this 15-year-old down, that wherever him and his mom had challenges with, and just like that, he just calmed him totally down, and he did whatever his mom needed to do. So I even saw power in that, so I'm really happy about that and what we're able to offer to the community.
Oh, yes, that is beautiful. And definitely reaching out to the young brothers, because so many of them do not have their fathers present, or their fathers are toxic. And, it's very difficult. I'm a mother of sons as well. And my sons, some of them did not have their fathers. And so I know, I could see the difference in the one that did have his father around and the ones that didn't, and it really does make a difference. So I'm so glad to hear that he is working with the young brothers and sharing that healing feeling, because that is, especially now, our
Yeah.
people we've been suffering and dealing with so much before this pandemic, but now it's even turned up. It's people who are dealing with anxiety more depression, more fear. The emotions can really be overwhelming for people. So it's important for us, and that's one reason why we're doing this, so people can know that we do have natural healers. Like, you all can go and see people who look like you, who can help shift your energy and make you feel better and stuff like that. So, Onika, tell us a little bit more about how you got started.
Oh, wow. Okay. So it all started. No. So back in 2010, what is that? 11 years ago. Well, I first met you
Yes.
at a Sacred Woman's retreat far off in West Virginia. And you were the first one to put a pendulum in my hand. I still have that pendulum to this day. And so I didn't understand anything that was going on, but I knew it spoke to my soul. And I was like, I don't know what none of this is, but I know I need it. So I think that was the very first spark in me. And so I know I had a really big loss in 2009 when my husband had passed away. And so I was going through like a great depression. So when I had went to the Sacred Woman's retreat with you, it was just such an upliftment to my spirit. And even though I didn't understand everything, it just felt very good for me. And so my background is massage therapy. So I've been a massage therapist for 19 years now. So I've always been into hands-on healing, but I've never gotten to do like Reiki, the Universal Life Force training, because where I was located, it was cornered by a different market, and it was priced where I couldn't afford it. And
Right.
so when I always was interested in it, but just never could, afford to get it. And so as time went on, um, I would go to different centers in St. Louis, and they were owned by Caucasian people, which I went to school with my whole life, never had a problem with. But I noticed that when I walked through the door, they would literally have this look like, what the hell is she doing here? And then they'll be welcome. And then give me like a little fake hug and like immediately. And so, and then this one guy that I will never forget, I was in his bookstore and he was literally following me around like I was gonna steal something. And at first I thought he was being helpful, like, hey, can I help you with anything? Da, da, da. And I was like, oh no, I'm good right now. So I'm just looking at the different books and stuff, Louise Hay or whatever they had. And I noticed everywhere I went, he was following me. Everything I picked up, he was looking. And I'm just in my mind, like, you have got to be kidding me. And I'm like, even in a healing center, you're treating me like this. And at that very moment, I made up in my mind, I said, if I ever get an opportunity to open a center or have some type of healing temple, I am doing it for my people to feel comfortable and somewhere that they can go to. So we don't have to go to them and feel uncomfortable, because the way he made me feel just hurt me so deeply, and I never returned after that. And and so that was another major shift that happened, that really planted a seed, like, I'm doing this. And so as I went just forward in life doing massage or whatever, my grandmother, she then passed away in 2013. And after she passed away, 3 days after she had passed away, she had came to me, and I was sleeping in the third floor of my house, and I was woken up. And when I was woken up, it was this huge mass of energy in front of me. And it was like this close to my face. Don't ask me why, but it was like this close. But it was a whole bunch of balls, like strings of light. I can't even explain it. And I was just looking, just in amazement. And somehow I knew that was my grandmother. It was the because it was no face or anything. It was just a whole bunch of balls of strings of light. And I was like, grandmother. And the moment I said that, it felt like she just threw a blanket of bliss over me. And I felt like I was just totally immersed in it and floating in it. And it was like the greatest feeling of my entire life. And I never wanted it to end. Like, I feel like if that was death, we definitely don't have nothing to worry about. And so after a while, it kind of dissipated. And I immediately ran down the hall to where my parents were sleeping, and I woke them up, and I was like, grandmother just came to me. Grandmother just came to me. And my dad was like, oh, you had a dream? No, she just came to me. She woke me up. I was totally awake. And they were like, what? And I told them what happened, and we was all crying and stuff. And it just blew us away. But after that, oh my God, everything was like turned on. I was like super sensitive to energies and feelings and hearing. And so after that, it was like, I'm trying to continue to be a massage therapist, but people start coming to me with different type of issues. Like, I'm thinking it's a massage and somebody has like entity attached to them, and I don't know how to deal with anything like that. And so the first time it happened to me, this girl had completely it was like a routine run of the mill, like singing bowl, let me do these tuning forks, nothing special. And this force had came out of her, and her face had crinkled up and her voice completely changed. She started cursing me out, and I immediately knew it was no longer her. And I was just like, I wasn't scared, but I was like, what the hell am I supposed to do? So it almost felt like something. If you're driving in a car, it felt like something just pushed her to the passenger side and took over the wheel. So I just kept calling her name and shaking the rattle for like a whole hour. And then after that, in massage school, a teacher had told me one time that she had gave a massage to like a 300-pound man one time. And when she got to his IT band, he started crying. And so she was like, after the massage, he told her he had a car accident, and that when she started massaging it, it made him remember that. So she was reminding us of muscle memory. So she was like, if that happens, if your client ever cry while you massaging them, just keep with the session, just keep going. For some reason, that popped in my mind, keep going. So what happened was, when I had got to her heart chakra with the tuning fork, that's when that thing came out. And so while I'm trying to call her name and come back, I said, let me just keep with these tuning forks.
Right.
So I go, I do the throat, it's still going off. I do the third eye, and that thing left. And I was like, that's all I needed to do. I just went through this for a whole hour, and I just needed to do that. So I was like, I was so mad. So I did the crown, and then she's all like, and I'm like, just totally like, what the heck just happened? So I was like, hey sis, are you okay? She was laying flat on the massage table. And she was like, oh man, I feel so wonderful. And I'm looking like, are you kidding me right now? Like I didn't say this out loud in my head. And I'm like, yeah, sis, I need to talk to you for a moment. So I helped her up off the table. I said, I'm gonna go get you some water. Go have a seat on the couch. So I'm going in the kitchen, I'm getting some water. I go back to the couch, I hand her the water. And I was just like, yes, sis, I don't know how to tell you this, but I think you might have something on you. She immediately was like, I kind of figured that. I was like, what? Like, you're not gonna warn me? You just gonna let me walk through life like that? So I was like, oh my God. And I'm like, well, what happened? Did you go through some type of trauma? Or, did you have did something happen in your childhood? Then when I said childhood, that sister completely regressed to like a baby. And she was like, yes. And she dropped her head and was like, I had a really, 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 really bad childhood. And I was like, oh, and I was like, you want to talk about it? And she was like, no. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. And I was like, well, yes, sis, you need some work. And that's out of my scope of practice. You need to get one of them sisters that do that type of work. And so she was like, okay. And then after that, yeah, I just sent her on her way. And I started making calls like, oh my God, it's just what happened. And my friends was like, well, what'd you do? What you mean what I did? She left with it. They was like, girl, you're supposed to send it to the light. I'm like, well, I didn't know. I don't have this type of training. I'm a massage therapist.
Right.
So then after that, more people start coming. So around the fourth person, I was looking at God like, okay, I see you got a funny sense of humor. You keep sending me the people. I don't know what to do with these people. And so about the ninth person, that's when I was just done. And I said, okay, I need to get some type of
More training, yeah. Yeah, you went mute.
sorry about that. It was a call coming in. So after like the eighth or ninth person, I was like, I have to get some type of spiritual training because I don't know how to handle this. And the people keep finding me and they just have this trauma or things attached. And so the first thing that popped in my mind was the movie The Exorcist. And I remember it was a Catholic priest. So even though I'm not a Christian, I was like, maybe I need to become a minister first. So I started researching. And then in my research, I found out about like interfaith ministry, where you could be basically like a multi faith minister. And so then I got ordained as an interfaith minister as my first step. And then after that, I then start looking into traditional African spiritual systems. And so after my research with that, that led me to become initiated as an Oshun priestess. Well, I found out that's the Orisha that walked with me, and that she happens to be over love and healing and childbirth and just even helping women, I guess, get pregnant and ailments of the womb and everything. And I was also getting a lot of women that had been sexually assaulted or molested. So everything just kind of fell into alignment. And so the more that I would do the work, the more, people would have just these very transformational healing sessions. And then I just start getting random downloads, random dreams with different symbols or different activation words. And I would like wake up and write them down. And then it ended up birthing the what I call my womb trauma release system. And so I would be like, what is this? And then I'll say it on myself and I feel all this energy running. I was like, oh snap, this is the energy system. And so I was like running on myself 30 times. I call my friend up. Can I send you this energy? They'd be like, what? Just be quiet. Just let me send it real quick. Tell me if you feel it. And I'll start sending it to my friends. And they're like, oh girl, I felt that. And so then I was like, I have a whole energy system right here. So I start running it on friends and family. And so then I knew it was safe to then run it on clients. So yeah, and so even after I did that, I wanted to get out of massage. I wanted to be an esthetician, do facials. And Spirit was like, no, no, we're not doing that. You're gonna go back. You don't want to do facials. They're like, no, go back over that way. And so yeah, so I don't even do esthetician work barely. I can't even tell you the last time I did a facial because it's like it's the healing. So I kind of fell into it really because I definitely didn't ask for it. And I've had a lot of people like, oh my God, who'd you train with? Or how, why'd you want to do this? I'm like, I didn't. I wanted to do facial. Not what I signed up for, but apparently I did in a soul contract and forgot because they keep reminding me. Because I notice whenever I just be like, because you get to a point, I'm sick of this. I don't want to heal anymore. Let me just be normal. And then it'd be like my life don't go right. And then I go healing and all the abundance opens up. I'm like, okay, let me just listen and do what Spirit want me to do, because this is when my greatest success is opening. And so, yeah, so I just came to terms with, I made a soul contract, and it got activated, where I was able to be put in certain places, meeting you, going to that. Cause my friend invited me at the last minute, Datalana, also known as Teresita. She invited me at the last minute, like, oh, you should come. And I was like, I don't know, the babies. And because Mook and Asale were like, I think 1.5 at that time. So she was like, yeah. And so I ended up taking Camille, who's 17 now, but she was so my 17-year-old was 5 at the time. So I ended up taking her, my mother, my sister-in-law, and it was really powerful. So I just felt like along the way, certain things had to happen to bring me where I am today. Helping. And I don't even like to call myself a healer because I feel like you're healing yourself. I'm just holding the sacred space, and I'm showing you the way and the path, and I'm holding the light, but you got to do this. Because if you are resistant, it's like we just gonna be here until you open up and you're ready. And that's why I absolutely love sound healing, because if I were to try to massage you right now, you could tense up and resist my massage, but you can't resist no sound healing. No matter what, that gong is gonna get through. It's gonna hit every cell in your body. It's gonna regenerate those cells, and in my opinion, it's the most powerful form of healing. And that's why I have like 11 gongs. I don't know if you can see. I have 2 right here. I got 2 right there.
Okay.
2 right there. I got, can you see those? I don't know if you can see them, but I have even 2 on the floor too. One over there, and one in the other room.
Nice.
I have like 11 total. I love it. Oh yeah, and this is a new drum that I have not yet learned how to play, but we're getting there.
I love that time drum. It's beautiful. It has some beautiful sounds. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so sound healing, man, couple that with the energy system, that's been very powerful. And then what was it? A couple of years ago, I got introduced to the Kuntanawa tribe of South Brazil, Heru Kuntanawa and Heru Kuntanawa. And that's when I got introduced to the healing medicine of Hape, which is like a tobacco snuff that's blown up the nose. And oh my God, Hape literally, like, man, if you do it right, it has the capacity to release 30 years worth of trauma in one sitting. And so I've been doing a lot of plant medicine ceremonies as well. So we have been coupling the readings with the sound healing, the energy medicine, and the plant medicine. So man, you can walk out of here brand new,
Right.
brand new and levitating.
That is so beautiful. And just, I'm so glad to hear that you are bringing it all together, because I found that's really what it takes for people to heal and to break, the spell, break the curses, because we have so many layers that we have to clear. We got a lot of emotions to release. We're releasing stuff from this lifetime and past lifetimes and our ancestors. And so I found that using as much as we can is really what is required for people to feel like they are brand new. So tell us, I know that plant medicine is very popular right now. So I just have not taken that step because, when I was younger, I would do stuff like that, but I don't feel like I need it for myself right now. But I know a lot of people who have benefited from the ayahuasca ceremonies, the rapé, and it's probably a few more, right? That are going
Yeah,
around.
it's so many. It's so many ones. Like ayahuasca, for instance, that's like referred to as grandmother. Um, and the hape or rape, that's like holds the grandfather energy, the healing grandfather energy. But it's a lot. It's ibogaine. It's another one from the cactus. I forgot its name. It's frog medicine. We were just recently having a lot of Cambo ceremonies. Cambo. So it's actually two frog ceremonies. One is Bufo. That's another frog. We didn't do that, but we did Cambo. Cambo is the tree frog, and that's where the secretions of the from the frog is scraped off, and then they mix it, and then they put a burn mark in your arm and then apply it. And what the Cambo does, it goes through your body and it scans your whole body, and it picks up whatever type of toxins, disease, and then a bind to it, and then you throw it up. And
Oh.
so we have been working with a Peruvian shaman named Pacho that does the Cambo. So a thing with me, I always try to work in the utmost integrity. I don't just jump into stuff. I'm like, I love what Cambo does, but that's not like I'm not connected to the frog. I don't have that training. So, because I've had people like, oh, are you doing the Cambo? I am absolutely not serving the Cambo. Pacho is serving the Cambo. He is the expert in it, and we call him in, and he'll do the Cambo for you. But we do not. We are not. What's the word I'm looking for? We're not authorized spiritually to do that because we don't have the training. So like even with Hape, I got permission, I got blessing from the chief and the chieftress to serve Hape. So I'm not just out here just doing Hape. I got permission from the Kuntanawa tribe, and I didn't have to do that, but I wanted to do that. That for me, because my thing is that's not my medicine. That's you guys' medicine. And yeah, I could just get it, but I wanted y'all permission because I saw how much it healed me from like the death of my first husband. So I just knew what it could do for the Black community. So getting that blessing from Heru and Hera, that was just very, very powerful, for me personally. So I like to walk with integrity. I like to get the blessings from my elders or the tribe leaders or the shamans before I actually start serving things. And then on top of that, I want to know where my medicine coming from. I'm not just gonna get it from anywhere. You don't know what people are doing with it. So I like to get it straight from the tribe, you know. So that's very important.
I'm so glad that you said that because it is so important for us to move in integrity as healers and to make sure that we are following the traditions and the protocol as much as we possibly can because things were done in a certain way for a reason. And even though many of us are born with spiritual gifts, we're born with magic and ashe, we still have to get that guidance and we have to get that official stamp from the elders. A lot of young women out here calling themselves a priestess, but ain't been through no initiation. And all of us who've been through initiation is like, nah, baby. You might be a priestess in your mind and your heart, but until you go through those steps and get that official stamp, you're not a priestess because there's millions who have gone before you and sacrificed time, energy, money, and more to gain that title. And so
Left on the
us,
floor for months.
hey, tell us about it. It's all kind of stuff that is required when you go through.
With frame from sexual activities from your husband. Like they don't even understand. Like this not a cakewalk. Like you gotta really want it. You gotta really be dedicated. You can't just, oh, I'm a priestess today. No, ma'am, it does not work like that.
Not at all, not even a little bit. And especially when it comes to dealing with those types of herbs and remedies that can alter people's minds, you have to know what you're doing. That's nothing to play with. As a healer, we are being entrusted with people's health and their life. I've facilitated sweat lodges before, and I went through being a fire keeper, and then I had to graduate. I had to go through the learning process before I could pour the water for a lodge. And when I got to that place, I remember having this feeling like these people's lives are in my hands, because I know people have, made their transition in a sweat. And so if I'm not doing right, if I'm not paying attention, we could have issues. And that always sticks with me, because no matter, even if we're not in a lodge, people who come to us, they are trusting us with their health, with their care, with their life. And so that integrity is really important as a
Yeah.
healer.
And you know what else I found out? I found out too that a lot of people they like to jump ahead instead of taking baby steps. Cause I know even with the Cambo, I was seeing how the medicine was getting stuck. And I had to get in there and I had to help out and I had to get a gong and open up some energy. And then when I would check the energy with the pendulum, it would be shut down. And so that even told me, that taught me a lesson that like people, they shouldn't necessarily just immediately jump to plant medicine, immediately jump to frog medicine. Get your chakras open first. Start there with the basics. Open your energy centers in your body. And then like crawl before you can walk. I've heard people like, oh yeah, I did a ayahuasca ceremony and they were fighting with demons for 7 hours. And I'm like, you don't just jump out the window and do ayahuasca. Like what? Like, have you even had a chakra clearing? Have you even had a sui reiki? They were like, I haven't had anything. And I'm like, well, yeah, slow down, please, please. Just like do baby steps first before you just start jumping into grandmother plant medicine. And so I think a lot of people don't get that. So we even have a protocol here at the Merkaba house where after you get, so my husband Antoine, he does the soul path readings. So after you do the soul path readings, I do the soul checkup where I'm checking, and a lot of people just focus on 7 chakras. I actually check up to 36 chakras in your body because spirit downloaded to me that every organ and every gland within our body has a chakra center. And this isn't written down anywhere on the internet, but when I tell you, when I checked and I ran the energy that they gave me, sure as the day, there was an energy center there. So I'm checking 36 chakras in the body. And then I'm also removing any energetic cords, any soul ties, sexual soul ties. There's a difference. So a sexual soul tie is, of course, a tie that's made through sexual means, but you can also have a soul tie with that's made through non-sexual means with a man or a woman, and it can be tied to your energetic body, spiritual body, physical body, or etheric body, or electromagnetic field. And then energetic cord is typically attached to like your solar plexus. And so I check for those. I check for energetic implants, because then I found out that the spirit, the like lower forces, they'll put a tracking implant in you so they can literally find you anywhere in the universe. So these are things that we aren't taught, that we don't even know exist. I had one client, she had like 50 tracking implants on her from past lives. And it like it blew me and her mind, that because I was like, that's a lot, that's excessive. And so that's how a lot of that karmic stuff can follow us too, because I know a lot of people are like, well, I just got that removed, how is that coming back? You know, you got a tracking implant, that's how it came back, because they find you again and hop right back onto your electromagnetic field. So this is serious. It's really a unseen war going on. So I check for those. I'm checking for, oh, another thing. Men and women have been having spirit babies attached to them. So a spirit baby is when the baby did not cross over after it was lost. And it could be during conception, or the baby could have even been born. But it could happen during miscarriage, abortion. And I was finding a lot of spirit babies even attached to these brothers, because these brothers have been losing so many babies. They didn't even get a say so. They just found out, damn, she got an abortion.
Yes.
That was my firstborn, or that could have been my third child. She just gonna kill my baby. And so they're the spirit of the baby has attached to them instead of going into the light. So it was a lot of I guess you could kind of call it womb work that I was even doing on the brothers too, that I didn't even know that was something that was happening, but it got revealed to me that it's happening.
Yeah.
And so I look for spirit babies attachments. And what I found out too is that if a man has a spirit baby attached, they get angry after. Sorry about that. A call was coming through. They'll get angry after a while. So what happens if it's in a woman, they'll make the womb a very just unhappy environment. You might start having I had one client where after she had got an abortion, she could no longer keep food down. She kept throwing up after she ate, or she was having very, very hard menstrual cycles. The brothers, they could it could start messing with their sex drive and things like that. And then later on in life, it can even turn into prostate cancer. I didn't even know all this stuff was connected, all because 15 years ago when that girl had an abortion and I never got over it, and I didn't realize that, but it was stuck in my subconscious because this spirit baby is attached to me. Now I'm having erectile dysfunction, or now I'm having issues with my prostate, or so it just is mind blowing, how serious this is and how everything is connected. And then in women, when we don't release the spirit babies, it can show up as ovarian cysts, uterine fibroids, painful periods, or the absence of a period, and any other womb conditions. And so when you release the baby and give it back to the mother so it can be crossed over, man, it's like I've had clients that just feel a trillion times lighter after that. They're crying, they're releasing. I've had I had this one client. She told me she never had an abortion in her life or a miscarriage, and she was crying like a baby. And she had spirit babies from a past life. So it's just powerful. I'm just honored that spirit entrusted me with the energy systems to help these sisters and these brothers. And every time my mind is blown, I'm like, wow, like when I hear what they're feeling and what they're going through, and how this one sister was dreaming of babies for like 2 years, and she just thought she liked babies. She didn't know. She was like, I be hearing a random baby crying in the house, and nobody in the house is under 7, but I just thought I liked babies. And she had a couple of spirit babies attached to her. So I was like, wow, you were straight dreaming of babies and hearing babies? She was like, yeah. And I'm like, did anybody else hear that? And they're like, no. So yeah.
That is some divine work. And I know that movie Beloved kind of brought to light the fact that the spirit babies do exist even after they.
Forgot about that movie. Yeah, I think that came out like 20 years ago. Oh, I need to watch that again.
Yeah, yeah. And it definitely opened the way for us to remember how the spirits move, even as babies. They do stay with us. If we don't help them to cross over, they will be there lingering. They could cause trouble. They could cause sickness, and they want attention, they want love, just like any other baby. So it is important
Exactly.
at work. Yes. Woo.
I don't think I understood that movie because I think I was like 17 when that came out. I definitely need to watch it now because
Yeah,
a
it's
whole lot doesn't
really
happen now. So I probably would have a total deeper understanding on it now.
absolutely. And I'm glad you brought that thing up about the brothers because, you know, a lot of men are promiscuous and go from woman to woman to woman, making babies and not there to do anything to help with the baby if they come or not. And so that's something I hadn't thought about, the fact that those spirit babies can be with those men as well. And I remember talking to a brother who he said he lost 11 babies in his life. Like every woman he ever got pregnant never wanted to have a baby. And now that you say that, I'm sure that he had some of those babies attached to him because he was so sad about it. And, you know, that feeling, that emotional loss, the grief of losing a child and wanting them can be very overwhelming. So that is some really divine work that you are doing over there. And I'm not surprised that they chose you to do it because you have such a beautiful heart. I remember meeting you and you just had, you know, some people just have pure hearts. And you are definitely one of those ones whose heart is just open and light and just beautiful and shining. And so that is why you were given these gifts and the knowledge and the wisdom to be able to share, because that's what is required, you know, for real healing to occur for our people. It has to be people who are really good and pure and light and open to assist others. So we just want to salute you right now for all the work that you're doing and all the many ones that you have touched through the years and have kept your family shining, looking good. Everybody is healthy and happy. That is a
Thank you.
testimony
Yeah.
to your spirit, your character, your energy, and everything. So I'm sending you some love and right now. You know I love you so much.
Yeah.
And before we close, go ahead and tell people how they could get in contact with you.
Oh yeah, so you guys, you can contact me if you're on Instagram. I am at Merkaba House, and that is spelled Merkabahouse. Also on Facebook, I'm Onika Merkaba House Long. My website is themerkabahouse.com. So that's TheMerkabahouse.com. And our phone number is 314-649-8088. And the best way for the phone, because it is textable, is to text. Because that way, if I'm in session, I could just text you right back. All you have to do is leave your name and what service that you're interested in.
Yes, wonderful. All right. Well, do you have any last words that you want to share with the listeners?
Yeah, if you're in the Atlanta area, Beaufort area, come on down. Because I live in North Atlanta, Snellville, Duluth, Beaufort area. So yeah, if you're in the Atlanta area, come on down. Also, if you're in town, because the retreat I'm doing this weekend, they're actually flying in. So I even take out of town clients. So, don't be afraid or feel discouraged if you're out of town. We can work it out and we can plan for it so everyone can be able to get their healing. And I book personal retreats as well as public ones too. And so yeah, I'm open to help any and everybody. And if you need to be married, I can marry you too.
All right.
I got another wedding coming up actually.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, I thank you so much for taking the time to come in and share with us today. It has definitely been a pleasure. It's always a pleasure to see you and talk to you. So, and
Yeah,
it's
you
so
too.
beautiful and shiny over there. I love that feather earring.
Yes, yes. Someone else has a red one. Yes.
Yes,
And
yes.
I also have the Priestess Protocols book. I love that book. And just, oh yeah, and then when people ask me about prayers to start with, I always tell them, you need to get this book. Speaking with you see, I got it bookmarked. Mine been ran through for a while.
Using that
But
book.
this
That's right.
this is a great start. You know, I just feel like any a person that wants to have a healing temple, facility, or center, they like your number one stop must be Raseki Arts Temple, because you will just give a person just so many keys and skills of life. And because, oh yeah, by the way, everyone, the only Reiki that I had ever gotten attuned to was Kemetic Reiki. And people would be thinking, they'd be like, "Oh, you a Sui Reiki train?" No, ma'am. I never even felt it, had it done on me. And I'm not speaking bad on it. I never got, that attunement, nor if I ever had to work. So I cannot even compare mine to that. But the one that I did get trained and attuned to is Kemetic Reiki from Raseki Arts Temple. And so, like I said, you put the first pendulum in my hand. You were showing us how to use it. You were even giving us the Egyptian terms of the chakras and stuff. So you even gave me such a great foundation to build upon. When I was looking for prayers, what I love about your book, they're prayers from everywhere, not just Kemetic prayers, but there is Ifa prayers in here, Muslim prayers, Christian prayers, so you just have such a great foundation for anybody that's serious about their healing to build upon. So I would tell people, if you're serious about doing healing, stop by Raseki Arts Temple first before you do it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you saying that.
It's the truth.
It definitely does. Most people don't know we have helped to train most of the healers that are out here right now today. They definitely
Right.
came through Raseki at some point. So I'm grateful. I'm humbled. I am honored to have been chosen to be the messenger for this healing energy for our people, because that's what it's all about. We have to heal so we could get to that next level. So I also have this new book. You got to come get one of these journals, the Revitalize Your Chakras journal. And this one is going through the 7 major chakras. And it gives you questions to answer to help you open up those blockages, to help you realign yourself, to find peace within. So that is available on Amazon with all of our other books, as well as RaisekiStore.com. You can get that Speaking with Spirit book from Raiseki Store and Amazon as well. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching and taking this time with us. Please share the video. Go and visit Onika on social media. Go to her website, check her out and see what she's doing. Make an appointment. Heal. Now is the time. They have shut down a lot of stuff to give us, some people say this is about the colonizers and their plans, but it's way bigger than that. Everything that's happening right now is for us to be moving into our higher selves. It's a chance for us to heal, to grow, to elevate, and that's exactly what we should be doing. So thank you all for watching, and we will be here. We're going to do the Healer series Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11 for the next couple of months. We'll be going from Facebook to YouTube, maybe even Instagram, because sometimes they are good and they share the video, sometimes they don't. So we're just going to move it around, and y'all just stay tuned for the post to see. And feel good. Take good care of yourself. Love and light to everyone. And of course, Uncle Uja Seneb.
Seneb. Ashe.
Heads up, my sister. I'll see you soon.